Hello everyone, welcome to Creek Nursery's How to Plant a Bareroot Tree. We provide a lot of bigger hardwood shade trees as bareroot. Some have been transplanted 2 or 3 times out in the nursery, giving them a very dense root system. We don't believe in working with potted stock that much because we find that potted stock you don't get a good diffuse root system like this. You end up with a lot of spiraling roots. You can see here we've transplanted this a couple times, and they divide and get fibrous and promote that good thin root system that really feeds the tree. Anyway, they're a lot easier to handle too. A normal potted tree like this would probably weigh in the neighborhood of 40 to 70 pounds. So this is a lot easier way to do it. Just takes a little bit extra care, not letting that root system dry out, not exposing it to the sun. That's why we try and keep them wrapped in wet burlap as long as we can when we're out in the field or on a job planting these bareroot. So these are real easy to handle like this. One person can handle dozens of these, and you can see that the root systems are not that deep on trees. This tree, maybe 8-10 inches at the most that this root system goes down. So your hole, you don't want any deeper than that. There again, we talked about the root flare with the transplants and the seedlings. You can see it pretty clearly here where that stem starts to flare out and was growing in the root in the dirt. It's probably right in here where it starts to flare out pretty sharply. That's where we want our finished grade. Again, forming that dish like we talked down to that point so that it can be mulched and watered decent. So we've got a hole here that I excavated. I laid it on the ground and I marked the perimeter to kind of figure out where my finished diameter would be. I see it's still, I don't know, pretty close, but what you can do with these bareroot is work that hole a little bit wider, because that root system is going to want to go wider, not deeper. It's important to keep the bottom of your hole unexcavated, if you will, to provide a good solid bottom so that we get a lot of water, rainfall or irrigation, that it doesn't get soupy and cause the tree to tip over. But we can increase the width of this by like 2 or 3 times if you want, just getting that ground worked up around the diameter of that tree, providing a nice loose soil for that root system to extend out into. Now this is the time too, I like to tell people that you can take like a composted cow manure, mix it in with your existing soil. Like this is kind of a mix of sandy loam here. Mix it in with that soil, about 50%. Provides a lot of good organic material. Don't use fresh cow manure. It's high in nitrogen, high in urea, so it causes burning of the root systems. I don't recommend putting any tree spikes or fertilizer or anything like that in the hole with the root system. You can burn the roots and that'd be a bad deal. Anyway, so you've got your hole, you've got it worked out. What you can do too is kind of skive the side of the holes like this, so that when that root system goes out, it locks into that channel and heads out rather than spiraling around the hard edges of the hole. So you just go around and work that hole like this. Tamp that bottom so it's good and solid. Get your tree. Make sure it's fitting in there good. And kind of eyeball it so that your finished grade is going to be a little bit lower than your existing grade, and then just backfill it all in, kind of working that down around the root systems, getting good soil to root contact as you go rather than trying to pack it all in the end. There again, don't bury it too deep. You don't want that soil up above that root flare on native hardwoods and whatnot. So you get that in there. You can see we got our dish dish formed in here. Straighten it up good. Pack it in good. Good soil to root contact all the way around so that it's solid. If you want to put a little extra dirt in, make sure that you're not getting up on that root flare, but you can kind of work it around the sides to really provide good ballast for winds after that tree leaves out so that it's not tipping over. Really pack it in there. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Pretty solid. Now what I like to do, root systems will not grow if the soil temperature is above about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So the longer you keep the soil cooler after you've planted, the more root development you'll get. And you can do that by just mulching. Go around that perimeter, out where the ends of those root systems are in the hole. Go around like this, forming that funnel. Don't go up against the tree, but just put a good 2-3 inches of chips or shredded bark is what I like too. This is just a natural chip from a chipping operation here in the county where they're cutting under high lines. I like this, breaks down fast. There's a lot of organic stuff in there, needles and whatnot. So there you go, that's a finished product, and then you can water right into that dish again and you're good to go. Thanks.